Hey there, everybody. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to day 29 of Perfect Album Sides. And once again, in the co-captain's chair, the kind of the creator of this whole monthly show we've been doing. He helped me out on a bunch of episodes early in the month. He's back again to help us kind of pretty much finish out the month, at least for today and tomorrow, that is. So Steve Fleck, welcome back again.
Hey, always good to be here, Pete. Lots of fun and love what we're doing. So yeah, excited to kind of roll this out and finish this one up.
Here we go. So Steve's got a very good one here he's going to talk about. So in fact, he's kind of giving it away a little bit. I'm not going to go further on that. But Steve, what's your perfect album side for today?
All right. So what Pete was mentioning was my shirt. And yes, exactly. I'm going to go with a album by Black Sabbath, one of my favorite bands of all time. And this one is a little bit of a sleeper. It's going to be Sabotage. And it's, kind of in that period where they were getting... a little experimental, bringing some keyboards in, slightly different production sounds. I'm going with, even though I love the entire album, as with most of the early Sabbath albums, I'm going with side one. Starts out with just right off the bat with Hole in the Sky. Really nice, heavy rocker, great solo by Iommi, and moves into one of my favorite, if not the favorite instrumental that Iommi did, on the acoustic, Don't Start Too Late, which I just think is just eerie, fantastic, very, very, it's medieval kind of. So, maybe a little bit of that Ritchie Blackmore Rainbow kind of later Rainbow influence. And it just segues so well into Symptom of the Universe that I'm going to just say that I just love the placement of that track there. I think that's probably one of their most successful Iommi instrumentals that they placed, in between tracks. And after that, Symptom of the Universe, classic Sabbath song, just loved everything about it to death. And it kicks off the end of the side with Megalomania, which is definitely one of my favorite Sabbath songs. So yeah, my vote, side one, Sabotage.
Yeah, you almost have to have Don't Start Too Late in between Hole in the Sky and Symptom of the Universe, which are probably two of the heaviest songs from this band in that time period anyway, right? So it kind of makes sense. It gives you a little bit of a breather. But
well, you've got Ozzy's voice, and I remember writing little reviews at the time when I was getting all these albums, and I remember saying in a review, Ozzy's voice has reached its summit. I don't know what I meant by that, but I think you out there can tell that he's very aggressive in his singing on those tracks. And matter of fact, throughout this album, lots of grit and grind to his vocals that I may not have heard up until this album. They're probably building to this, but I really, really love his vocals on this album. Really, a heck of a lot.
Well, it's kind of no surprise in later years that either with Sabbath or solo, when he chose, when they were playing older Sabbath tracks, very rarely do they touch upon songs from Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, or this album for that very same reason. I don't think Ozzy could really reach these heights again from these two particular albums.
Yeah, I think that's a good point.
Yeah. So great choice. Sabotage is great. It's funny how, as the years go on, more and more people I talk to now look at this as one of their favorite Sabbath albums, especially from the early part of the catalog. It's great. Yeah, it's you got the first three albums, which are groundbreaking and heavy. Then you have Volume 4, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, and Sabotage, which are like the three experimental albums. And I guess you could say Technical Ecstasy a little bit as well, but definitely those three. So yeah, great choice. Bill's horrible looking red tights notwithstanding.
Oh, terrible cover. Hate it. I love the logo.
Some people love it though. I was like,
the cover's awful. The logo is great. Anyway.
Classic.
What you got?
All right, so I'm going to go to 1971. I think most people watching knew I would pick this band at some point, and I waited till later in the month specifically. But the question was which perfect album side was I going to go for, because I had a bunch to choose because I love so many of the early albums so well. And I decided to go with side 2 or side B from 1971's Nursery Crime by Genesis. So some folks may be like, whoa, he didn't pick side 1, The Musical Box for Absent Friends and The Return of the Giant Hogweed. I'm like, true, because Musical Box and the Hogweed are both 5 out of 5 stars for me. And while I really like For Absent Friends, not quite sure it's 5 out of 5 star for me. So, but on side 2, however, Seven Stones, gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, soaring, killer vocals from Peter Gabriel. Love the backing vocals. The chorus is amazing. Great 12-string guitar and mellotrons and all that stuff, just amazing. Then you got the quirky Harold the Barrel, which is so British, so much fun. Love the lyrics, playful. I mean, this is what Genesis was all about back then. And then you got the lush, majestic, gorgeous Harlequin with those, again, amazing vocal harmonies, the 12 strings, just a beautiful, beautiful song. And then the piece de resistance on the entire album, which is the Fountain of Silmasis, which is, that's what I love so much about this band from this time period. The way they build drama, just the beginning with the mellotrons and the the Hammonds, right? And then you got such great Steve Hackett guitar work on this particular track, the expert drumming, the bass from Rutherford, again, the 12 strings and Gabriel's way of kind of telling the tale like he always does. I mean, just such a great front man. And, this whole album too, really also showcased Phil Collins and his backing vocals, which, no surprise, a few years later, he's the man, right? So, and it's just like they went and auditioned all these singers to take Gabriel's place when the guy was always there, right? So yeah. I mean, I love this album. I was almost going to pick Foxtrot, but it's like I always pick Foxtrot for things, and I was like, and I almost picked Selling England by the Pound because you could pick either side from there. I was looking at Trick of the Tail, and I was like, what? I want to go way back a little bit. So this again, love the whole album to death. But side 2 for me is just one killer track after another. Love it. Don't skip any songs on there.
And that's a great pick, Pete, because as you said, so many great early albums, and for so many reasons they're great. And one of the main reasons, it took me a little while to get into old Genesis. I was more into Phil Collins solo first, when he came out, when those pop songs were coming out, and I appreciated that stuff. And I went back and got into some of the Phil Collins led Genesis, and then later went back into the Gabriel catalog. Just probably about 10 years ago or so, and picked all those up on vinyl and just really ate them up. And I tell you, what you are mentioning is their instrumental and vocal textures, which are unmatched, along with their chord selection. I suppose a great deal of that is their keyboards. The sounds, the chords are extremely unique to Genesis. I think you could say, with a lot of confidence, that there are Genesis chords that you hear and it's Genesis, which is pretty amazing. But they were very much I kind of take the early Genesis and keep them in the same kind of basket as early Crimson. Very much dynamics, and you go from like dead quiet to like this crazy high level, back down to dead quiet, and that's what's missing in a lot of modern recordings now. And it's really said no better than early Genesis and early King Crimson albums. Love them both.
Yep, totally agree with everything you said. Yeah, it's a magical period in music history, I think. So
for sure.
All right. Well, there you have it, everybody. Our 2 perfect album side picks for today. We've got side 1 of Sabotage by Black Sabbath and side 2, from Nursery Crime by Genesis. So let us know what you think of these 2 album sides, and also pick your perfect album side for today. And we'll be right back tomorrow morning with another one. Steve will be back once again for day 30. And then we got a kind of a surprise for you on day 31. So I think some of you might know what that is already, but you'll just have to wait and see. So thanks for watching, everybody. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. All together, all the damn time. For Steve Fleck, I am Pete Pardo. See you tomorrow morning with another perfect album side. Take care.